Welcome to Central High East and to the East Campus Library. I am Mrs. Flores, your teacher librarian. Our library is a special place. It is the hub of literacy on our campus. Our library is a place to come and research, read, reconnect, study, socialize, create, complete, access technology, to dream and discover. The library is staffed with friendly, helpful people. Come join us. Greetings, Grizzlies, and welcome to the Central High School East Campus Library Media Center. We are located building number 2 between the 1100 building and the administration building. We are entering the library through the main entrance, Central High School East Campus Library. As we enter the library, you'll see our spacious facility. Computers line the outside walls of the main library. Students are working. We have our collections over here. We'll take a look at that later. Reference, nonfiction, biography, and fiction. And at our circulation desk, we have some very helpful people.
Hi, welcome. Welcome to Central East Library. My name is Shelley McDowell. I'm the library media technician here, and we are open Monday through Friday, 7:15 to 3:30.
My name is Edward Kazarian, and I am part of the library staff. Welcome. And I'm here on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Great, and they're there to help you with all your circulation and library needs. And over here we have 2 more members of our staff.
Hi, I'm Hillary Ellis. I'm one of the tech aides.
Hi, I'm Matthew Vanderplatz. I'm one of the other tech aides.
And Matthew and Hillary are here to help you with all of your tablet and computer needs. And here we are again at the circulation desk with more staff that needs to be introduced.
Hi, I'm Jim Sherman. I'm a library volunteer here on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm a retired librarian. I retired after well over 40 years as a librarian. I have a master's degree in library science, and I thoroughly love working here.
Let's take a look inside the library and see what there is to see, including our reference section. Generally, reference materials are used only in the library. Greetings, Grizzlies, and welcome back to the Central East Library. As you can see, our library selection here, we're set up for AP testing, so don't mind the tables. You can see that we have fiction to the far right as you enter the library, and you're facing south. Then our biography section, they're noted both at the ends of the rows and in the rows. Then we have our nonfiction section by Dewey Decimal, noted at the end of each row. And our reference selection basically spans the outside of the library all the way around. This here is the entrance to the computer lab, where classes are scheduled. And then our reference section begins at the edge of the computer lab and runs basically in a C shape down the outside of the library. Again, we're set up for AP testing. That's why the cards are right here. So the perimeter, we've got reference, again, by Dewey Decimal number. General reference and encyclopedia as you round the corners. And all the way to the end. The library also contains nonfiction, biographies, and fiction, as well as a Spanish selection. They are easy to locate. right where the nonfiction ends, you will see noted by the tabs and the rows, biography begins. So there's the end of nonfiction. Biography begins here. Biography starts here. Right, in our biography section, alphabetically, by last name, spans the next, so basically almost 2 rows of biography. And then our fiction section begins. So you can see where biography ends. And if you note the pink sign, biography is noted in green, and fiction begins in pink. Fiction starts here. All right, and then fiction spans all the rest of the rows in the library. It's all noted fiction by author's last name, and it's all noted fiction. Fiction and by author's last name. You can see for our more popular titles, we have several copies, including Fault in Our Stars. Okay, and fiction will take you all the way to the end, and again, remember reference wraps around. If you have any questions, you can always stop by the circulation desk to get some help. So how do we search and find? Now that you know where all the information, where all the sections are located, what if you're looking for a specific book or a specific topic? This would require you to use the card catalog. Our card catalog is called Destiny. Greetings, Grizzlies, and welcome to Accessing Vital Library Information with Mrs. Flores. Today I'm going to talk about how to access the Destiny card catalog. Basically, accessing the card catalog, or Destiny, is the easiest way for you to locate all the resources that we have housed in the library. Once you access the school webpage, the site, the district site, you will be able to locate the card catalog with one of these 2 icons, either the little tree where it will say Destiny Card Catalog, or from the library webpage with a symbol like this that says Follett Destiny. In either case, it will take you to the same place. So step 1 would be to access the Central Unified School District webpage. You would go to www.centralunified.org, and this is the home page. From here, you have some tabs just to the left here. We want to search by department, so we're going to click Departments. Now, Library, in my opinion, is the best department, so we're going to scroll on down to Library Services and click there. Now, here's the tree icon that I was referring to, and it's listed as Destiny Library Catalog. So we're going to click that tab. This will give you access to all the libraries within the entire district, all the elementary schools, the middle schools, and the high school. So since we're at Central East, we're going to click Central East Library High School. All right, and here you have on the home page, you have 2 tabs, Home and Catalog. On the home page is where you can access all sorts of resources, including book blogs by Miss Cheek and myself, the awesome Central High School Library webpage. But today we're going to click over to the catalog. And you can go back and forth between these 2 tabs. So now this is the screen you will see on one computer in the library when you come in, just to the left of the circulation desk. The screen is up almost all the time, and you can search everything that we have in the library. You can search by keyword, title, author, subject, or books in a series, like the Lunar Chronicles. So let's say I want to search for the novel, The Fault in Our Stars. Much better book than a movie. So I'm going to type in The Fault in Our Stars, and I'm going to click title. Now you can see The Fault in Our Stars was written by John Green. It will be found in the fiction section by author's last name, so fiction, G-R-E. Can also note on the right-hand side that of the 10 copies we have in the library, 5 of them are currently available. So if you need help locating this book, you can simply ask. All right, I'm going to go back to catalog. Now, let's say your visit to the library brings you in there because you're doing a research report. Maybe you're doing it on the dangers of smoking. So this time I'm going to search for under smoking. And I'm going to click subject. I want everything under the subject of smoking. Issues of smoking, knowing about smoking, a right to smoke, straight talk about smoking. So, and on the right-hand side, it gives you how many copies we have and how many are available. So I'm going to click straight talk about smoking. All right, it's going to give me some information on that. And this time it's by Dewey Decimal Number because it's nonfiction. So that can be found under the 362.29 KRA. Above the library computers where you'll be searching, there's plenty of scratch paper. Just write down the call number located in the nonfiction. If you need help, you can ask. All right, so that's how you would search the Destiny card catalog. All right, and if we click back to the Home tab, and you access directly from the library web page, this is the Central High School Library web page, you can do the same thing from the Follett Destiny tab here. Okay, takes you right into that card catalog. So just to briefly recap, once you're in, you would choose which high school from the Destiny homepage that you want. All right, East or West Library. You can alternate back and forth between the catalog and home tabs. You can access directly from the library web page. And you can search either library, East or West. Never underestimate what your library collection has. We have biographies, fiction, nonfiction, reference materials, and a Spanish collection. We add new titles each month, and we have a friendly staff to help you find what you need. We offer computer access and printing, and our library hours are from 7:15 in the morning until 3:30 each afternoon, Monday through Friday. See you in the library. You can also find in our library e-books and other digital resources that are housed in the cloud, actually outside of the library walls. They can be accessed beyond the library walls with an internet connection. If you note the arrows here, once we're on the school web page, you can access the online databases and e-novels. That's where you'll find the learner e-novels. These are classics. Like if you're reading a Shakespeare play in one of your classes and you forget your book, you can access from the library webpage one of those Shakespeare titles and read it on your phone or your tablet or a laptop. We also have access to ebooks, novels, and books through Overdrive. That would be this icon here. And again, it can be found on the school webpage, the library webpage, under the little icon here for Overdrive. And I'm going to demonstrate that for you now. If we go to access the Central High School webpage, the e-novels and databases are on the tabs on the left. That's how you would access. Learner is the name of the e-novel classics. There's a list of classics that we offer, and we're currently adding new titles there. Since it is web-based and it is subscription-based, you'll need to note the username and password. For both high schools, it is Central HS for username, CHS Novels for the password. Just note before you click on the link. Go ahead and click on the link, and you type in the Central HS username and CHS Novels for the login, for the password. Once you are logged in, you will see the titles that we have on the bookshelf. All right, and they're listed in alphabetical order. They do have the starting with the T, unlike most books. But you can see that we've added some new titles. All right, but let's say you are reading Hamlet in your class. You can open up the book. The book will open up again wherever you left off when you go back to read it. All right, so these are some classics that you can access through the Learner Bookshelf. And again, that access needs to come through the school webpage. And it's under Online Databases and eNovels. Now, the other place to access cloud information and ebooks would be through our app called Overdrive. Overdrive is an app on your tablets if you haven't used it there. It can also be used on a Kindle or a laptop or your phone. Once you click into Overdrive, in order to access the libraries that are already preloaded for the school, you would need to sign in. There's a sign in tab. Then you're going to get an option to either sign in using your library card, using Facebook, or an email. If you want to access the Central High School East Campus or Central Unified School District Library, you would need to log in with your school email. So that's the one that ends in the centralusd.k12.ca.us. So the one you use for Google Classroom, etc. It's your school issued one. And then you just type in the password that you always use, and it will take you in. Maybe you didn't know you had an Overdrive account, but you do. You can access all sorts of novels here and, again, read them on a phone or a tablet or a computer. So, for example, if I want to search the book Cinder from the Lunar Chronicles, I can search that. I can click on the title, and it'll tell you if it's available or unavailable in the Central Unified School District titles. All right. You can also, I know some of you have done this already, you can also link your account. If you have a public library account, you can link it to add it as a library through Overdrive, and you can access titles that you would normally be able to access through the public library system. Okay, so that's how you would use Overdrive. Again, here this one is available. This particular version of Cinder, you can view at Central Unified School District. If someone else isn't currently checking it out, you can check it out and read it as an ebook. We are also uploading audio ebooks through the school site, so we're adding new titles there so you could actually listen to it audio. Okay. So that is, again, is Overdrive, and that's how you would access it. So you do have resources beyond what you can hold in your hand. Another resource that you can access for research are the databases that we have. The databases are subscription-based, and they are very specific to a topic that you're researching, and much better than doing just a Google type search. Databases can help you research effectively and efficiently. Thanks, Grizzlies. Today we're going to talk about accessing vital library information, specifically how to access databases. I'm Mrs. Flores. Accessing school databases, you should understand that your first go-to for all your research needs and class projects should be the school databases first. Why? Because databases are paid subscriptions. They are sorted by subject. They're very easy to use. They're easy to cite, so you can avoid plagiarism, and they're already sorted by subject, easily searchable, and they contain links, images, maps, audio, etc. And they're non-commercial, unlike Google or other search engines that are trying to sell you things, and you would have to search through thousands of results. Now, to access the school's databases, you would need to access the district webpage. You'll need to go to centralunified.org. Once you're on centralunified.org, you will click on departments. And the department that we want is the library. So we're going to scroll down on the left-hand side to library services. And then we're going to click the Destiny card catalog. Now the card catalog is where you would search for library materials as well. But in this case, we are going to actually access the databases. So we're going to click on Central East High School Library. And this will take us to the library homepage. There's a homepage and a catalog page. This is where you would search the library holdings, all the books in the library. Let's go back to the home screen, and this is how we're going to access our databases. You've got all sorts of things you can access on the home page, but today we're going to access the library web page. So if you look under Central Unified School District, I titled it well for you. Awesome CHS Library web page. You're going to click on that. Now this is a joint project between Ms. Cheek, the teacher librarian at West Campus, and myself. Again, you want to stay on the left-hand side, and we're going to look for online databases and e-novels. Click that link. Once you have clicked there, you have a variety of categories that you can search. The databases themselves are listed in red with a direct link, and because they're subscription-based, you will have a username and a password. So make sure you note that before you click the link, because you'll have to type in a username and password or just a password. You have access to East and West databases. Okay, and again, you also have some e-novels. So let's say you're reading Hamlet in class for Miss Cook's class, and you want to look at Hamlet on the screen and read it there because you forgot your book at home. You could do that as well, or Macbeth or Romeo and Juliet, etc. But again, you need to look at the username and the password before you click the link. So let's say I'm doing a research paper on genocide of the Cambodian people. And I note here under Gale eBooks, there's actually an encyclopedia of genocide and crimes against humanity. I'm going to note that the password is remote, and I'm going to click the link. So then I get to the Gale databases, and I'm going to type in the password remote. Remote because you can remotely access these from off campus, from Starbucks, anywhere you have an internet connection. And then I'm going to click proceed. I'm going to scroll down to that encyclopedia of genocide. And I can search by category. I've got everything alphabetically, or I can do a search in the search box. And let's say I'm going to put in Pol Pot. Pol Pot was one of the leader, Pol Pot's regime. He was the leader against the Cambodian people during that genocide. So I'm going to click Pol Pot regime and search. And you can see that I've got all sorts of access to that information. Okay, or I could search Khmer Rouge, the military. All right, you've got all sorts of choices here. You can see victim numbers, prisons and mass graves. And once you click on one of these, it will take you to an article with even more information on whatever topic it is that you're researching. You have an option to listen to the article being read to you, so you can plug your earbuds in and listen and follow along on the screen. You can download it, print it, highlight and take notes, save it, even download the MP3 and listen to it on the bus on the way home. And like I said, easy citation information in both MLA and APA format. You can cut and paste this citation into your works cited, and that will help you to cite your sources.
Got how you would research effectively, retrieve information, and do it in a responsible manner. From the time that you enter the library, with or without your class, to research for a task, you would want to develop some research questions. You need a starting point for your research, whether your teachers ask you to do this or not. Just getting on a computer blindly is going to lead you down a road that's going to give you more information than you probably need and not as specific. So my suggestion is to create at least 5 inquiry research questions. The questions should generate full responses, answers that are more than just yes or no or just a couple words long. For example, earlier this fall when I was working with history teachers, students were researching Cold War topics. And within Cold War, one of the students was researching people prosecuted during the Cold War. And this led them to this research question. What were Ethel and Julius Rosenberg accused of, and what was the evidence against them? Now, based on the research or the project that you're doing, you may want to rework your questions or your topic based on where the research takes you, but you do need a starting point. Now, I've already given you information on how to access a database, but how do you search a database? There's a couple ways you can do it, more than a few. You can, when you're looking for answers here, use just the default or basic search. It looks like a Google search box and you can type the information in. You also have an advanced search option, which is more specific. The researcher sets the parameters of the search so you can get more specific results. You also have the option of an author search. So let's say you find a helpful article on the topic you're researching and you want to search out to see if that author has more articles. You can do that. Now remember, databases should be your go-to for information, and you should put it to work for you. For example, I showed you earlier how to access a database. So let's go with the topic of Ethel and Julius Rosenberg. Now, once you go to the school website and you access the databases, one of the databases available to you is the Gale database. The password, if you don't remember, was remote, because you can remotely access from anywhere. So once we type in the password, we are now in the database. Now I could type Ethel Rosenberg, and this would be the basic search. This is what we referred to as the one that looks like Google, or just a default search, and you would click the search. This yields me one specific, okay, and 30 that might have something to do with Julius and Ethel Rosenberg. But if you look to the right of this basic search, you also have an advanced search option. This is where you can set the parameters for your search, all right? You can search by keyword, document title, even an ISBN number on the back of the book, publisher. Now, you also have some options on the left. You can search Ethel and Julius Rosenberg. You can search Ethel or Julius Rosenberg, or you can search Ethel but not Julius. Now, if I want to do a keyword here, and I switch these both to keyword searches, I want a search that's going to reveal all the results for either Ethel Rosenberg and or Julius Rosenberg. Now I've just narrowed my search with an advanced search. I can add rows, I can search and make it very specific. Let's try that. All right, now I have in my advanced search, I have more specific information, and I've got results, 7 different results that are very specific to Ethel and or Julius Rosenberg. And again, this is all within the database. I've got pictures, I can listen to it. We talked about this when we talked about accessing databases. And again, don't forget that you can cite it. You can cite your source. All right, so that is basically how you would search in a database. We know that databases are better than Googling, and let me show you why. You had very specific information that was academic related when we were in the database. If I type Ethel and Julius Rosenberg just into Google, if you look over here on the left, I got more than 384,000 hits on Ethel and Julius Rosenberg. I don't know about you, but I don't have time to go through 384,000 results to find what is quality information when I can search a database first, knowing that anything that comes up is quality information. And if you notice, the first thing that came up is Wikipedia. Wikipedia is an open source. That means anyone can change the information on Wikipedia. So its reliability is questionable. If you're going to use Wikipedia as a starting point for your research, that's fine to get a basic overview, but you shouldn't be citing Wikipedia as a source. And if you look towards the bottom, where did they get their information? Wikipedia. You can look at some links there and some citations. And that's more useful as far as Wikipedia goes than trying to cite it. Don't cite Wikipedia as a source. It's not that credible. All right. Now, the databases that you can access through our high school, you can also access the West databases and the East databases. And did you know, with your library card to the Fresno County Library System, there's the web address, fresnolibrary.org. If you type in your code on the back of your library card, they have over 30 databases that you can access information for free with your library card. Databases are credible without sorting large quantities of information like you would find on Google, and they create the citations for you. Remember to cite all your sources so you can avoid plagiarism. This would require you, and you know if you've had an English or a history class on our campus, to create a bibliography or works cited page per your instructor's directions. You need to give credit where credit is due. Now, if you are in any English classes on East Campus, the basic guidelines for that is a works cited page in MLA. You would open up a document in Google Docs, and you should do this while you're doing your research. Put your name, date, class period in the upper right-hand corner, and then center the title Works Cited. Then you would cut and paste those citations of all the sources of all the information that you went to onto that document, and before you turn it in, you move them into alphabetical order. If there's not a citation built for you, or you don't trust the citation that's there, you can go to Citation Help on the library homepage, and you can build citations there. The first line of each of your citation on your works cited page would be on the left margin. All the rest of the citations of that citation are indented. Okay? You can't just cut and paste URLs, people. That's not a citation, and your English teachers are not going to give you credit for that. If you access our library webpage, which we've done several times throughout this presentation, and you look on the left-hand side, you have library citation tools. These are some of the citation tools that will help you build citations if their citation is not there or is lacking some information. And again, that's on the left-hand side. Citation tools. You need to give credit where it's due and to cite your sources to avoid plagiarism. So if you are going to go out on the web and search, that's fine too. After you've exhausted hopefully some of the holdings within the library and you've found what you need on the databases and you're searching for more information, it's okay to use Google. You just need to be careful about the parameters of your search and to look closely at the information that you are receiving. I also wanted to show you a couple little ways to make those searches more effective, even within Google. If you have not yet heard, Google has a secondary search engine called Google Scholar. So if you're on Google, you would just Google Google Scholar. Google Scholar takes you to now a secondary search engine, and it's labeled Google Scholar. So now all the information that you're going to retrieve in a search in Google Scholar will be scholarly articles. It's academic. It's an academic search engine within Google. So let's type in Ethel and Julius Rosenberg at this point. Now, Ethel and Julius Rosenberg are within Google Scholar. You're going to get a lot of these types where it says citation, and that's just a citation. That's what was used in another paper when somebody, like your works cited page, and it's not going to give you results. So you're going to, and some might be books, and some of them might actually be articles. So once you get into Google Scholar, you kind of got to search a little bit to find something that will be useful for you, but you can know, like a database, that it's going to be academic based. So Google Scholar is an option for you. Also, if you did not know, within Google, there's an advanced search option. Once you've typed in what it is you're searching for, and you're on a search page, you can go to settings on the far right, look for the little setting, and you can do an advanced search much like you would do in a database. You can search for all the words, an exact word. Advanced searches will really help you narrow down and get rid of some of the commercialism, some of the things trying to sell you, products, some of those 380,000 things that you don't need. And it will give you examples here. So you can do an advanced search in both databases and within Google. Hopefully that is helpful for you. You want to get the most information closest to the topic you're researching without all the trash that you don't need. Finally, now that you've researched effectively, you've retrieved information, and you're going to evaluate that information, you can then reference it like I have here in this presentation. Now we're going to take a look at a strategy called RADCAB. RADCAB, R-A-D-C-A-B. Once you've retrieved that information off the internet, you want to know if it's going to be useful for you. You're going to evaluate the information that you've received. And one of the best strategies to do that with is the RADCAB strategy. RADCAB stands for relevancy. Is this information relevant to the question that I have? Am I on the right track? Or is it something that I don't need? If it's not relevant, skip over it. Is it appropriate? In other words, is it appropriate age level? You might get hits with information that are too juvenile or too scholarly, at the graduate level, that you don't need. It might not be appropriate age level, but is it also suitable to your core values? Is the information appropriate that you can put into a presentation or a paper? How much detail is there? D stands for detail. How much information do I need, and is the depth of coverage adequate? Or should I skip this resource and move on to something else? C stands for currency, and we're not talking money. Currency, how new is the information? How current was it published? And is that relevant? For a topic like Ethel and Julius Rosenberg, that happened in the 1950s, so you don't need an article published in 2016 in order to have that be accurate. But if you are researching something like women's rights, if you looked at women's rights in the 1960s as opposed to women's rights in 2016, that information would be pertinent, and currency is important. The A in RADCAB stands for authority. Who's the author? Are they an expert on the topic? What qualifications do they have? Is there an author? Is there someone listed? Right, you need to check and make sure that the information is really accurate. And finally, the B in RADCAB stands for bias. Why was the information written? Is it informational? Is it propaganda? Is it trying to inform, persuade, entertain, sell you something? You need to be careful about, since the fact that anybody can post anything on the internet, you need to make sure that it's a credible source. All right, so the RADCAB strategy is one that you should review in your head every time that you open a web page that you're going to cite that information from, outside of a database or a scholarly article. Just something that you pulled from the internet. Is it relevant, appropriate? Is it detailed enough? Is it current? Does it have a good author that's an authority on the subject? And are we avoiding biases? Finally, you need to make sure that you're using the information that you've retrieved and that you're going to put into a presentation or a paper or even a project or even a posting online. Are you following copyright? And by that I mean, are you being a good digital citizen? So let's take a look at a little video here that will help us with that.
In today's digital world, it's easier than ever to copy, paste, mash up, remix, download, and publish content. People's writing, artwork, videos, and images can be inspiring, but they're also easy to take without thinking twice. When people treat the internet like a free-for-all, legal and ethical situations can arise. That's why it's important to know about copyright and fair use. It would help you give and receive credit where credit is due. So what's a copyright? Copyright law protects your control over the creative work you make. It requires people to get your permission before they copy, rework, or share what you make. Most things that you find, download, and copy and paste from the internet are copyrighted. That doesn't mean that everything online is on lockdown and can't be used. It can, as long as you check who owns it, get permission to use it, give credit to the creator, buy it if necessary, and use it responsibly, then you're not stealing. Now, there are times when you can use a small part of someone else's copyrighted work without permission or paying a fee. This is called fair use. Fair use only applies when using content in certain instances: schoolwork and education, news reporting, criticizing or commenting, and comedy or parody. Specific guidelines, what we call the 4 points of fair use, must also be followed. First, you can only use a small amount of the work. Second, you have to add new meaning to the work to make it original. Third, you need to rework it and use it in a totally different way. Finally, you have to use it for nonprofit purposes. In other words, you can't make money off of your new creation. No matter what, it's a good idea to give credit to the creator of the work you used. It's just a sign of respect. So what should you do if you find something online that you want to use? As a rule of thumb, check who owns it, get permission to use it, give credit to the creator, buy it if necessary, and use it responsibly, which means judging for fair use. You're a creator, innovator, and inspirer. Think twice about your rights and responsibilities in our online culture, and then pay it forward.
It's very important for you to understand that you are a creator. So if you create a poem and you put that poem on social media, and someone takes that poem and copies and pastes it and puts it on their social media and claims it to be their own work, that's stealing from you if you're the creator of that work. It works the same way if you take information that doesn't belong to you. Now the video went kind of quickly, so I just want to recap. Here's some fair use guidelines and what is covered by fair use. Now you are a student, so you are covered under fair use, but you need to check for fair use. So the exceptions for fair use are schoolwork and education. So as long as you're a student and you are doing a project It allows you to use a small portion of someone else's work under certain guidelines. Also, news reporting. So if you are a member of the newspaper on campus, you can use, say, information and not go to the source. You can report on things. You can criticize or comment. For example, I write book reviews on my blog. I don't have to go ask the author permission to comment or criticize something that they have written because I'm covered under fair use. And the last one is comedy or parody. You don't have to go ask a politician to make fun of them. And if you've ever seen Saturday Night Live or The Simpsons, those are parodies. And they don't have to ask permission in order to do that. Now, you still have to work under guidelines of fair use. And the video pointed that out. You can only use a small amount of the work. You have to add new meaning to it to make it something original. For example, you can take a quote from somewhere off the internet and use that quote in your paper because you're only using a small amount of the work and you've created it into something else. But you need to give credit where credit is due. 3, you need to rework it in a totally different way. 4, you have to use it for nonprofit purposes. You can't make money off of it because that belongs to somebody else. And then you need to give credit to the creator or to cite your sources. In other words, you can't just download a whole paper on a topic and turn it into your English teacher and just cite it and say that you're covered under fair use for schoolwork and education. You're not. You didn't follow the guidelines for fair use. And if you're going to cite someone else's, a direct quote, you need to cite that source. Even for paraphrasing, you need to cite the sources. So only use a small amount of the work, add new meaning and make it original, rework it in a totally different way, use it for nonprofit purposes, and always give credit to the creator. You would want that. So where can I find help if I need it? Well, you can always find help at the library webpage. Our library webpage has lots of different tutorials and help for you. If you need teacher or staff help, again, follow the left-hand side. You've got your citation help. You've got different books, career ebooks. You've got book clubs, chess club, athletes as readers and leaders to get involved in things. You've got research help here on the right. StoryCorps, art museums, National Geographic, Library of Congress, various TED Talks. And then you have some resources by subject, art, Spanish, English, PE, AVID, etc. If you need the help of a librarian, on the left-hand side, teacher or staff help, you have a direct link to my email in the East Campus Library, Mrs. Flores, or a direct email to Ms. Cheek at the West Campus Library. Or come to the circulation desk at either library. We've always got helpful people, as you saw earlier, to lend a hand, help you out. We are available Monday through Friday from 7:15 to 3:30. We have video tutorials, resource links to the databases, ebooks, and Overdrive, as I pointed out. We have book blogs, club information, citation examples and tools, class links and information, and we can even suggest titles for new books. If you've read something and you want something similar, we can help you out. I would like to leave you with a little fun parody, because in the library, it's all about the books.
Because you know I'm all about those books, start reading. I'm all about those books, start reading. I'm all about those books, start reading. I'm all about those books, Yeah, it's pretty clear that I am really cool, because I'm reading, it's what I like to do. Cause I got that fiction that everyone's chasing, all of
these books take you so many places. I see those magazines, they make them reading hard. They're great when time is short and you can even swap. If you got books or Kindles, just raise them up, cause anything you read is perfect from the start until the stop. Yeah, Devon said she told me, don't worry about the size. She says good readers like lots of books to read at night. You know.
Thank you for enjoying our presentation about the Central High School East Campus Library. Please come join us in the library. Have a great day.